Hello and welcome to the live record of Transformers Australia Weekly. Australian Transformers Weekly. Yeah, that went well. This is episode 186, recorded live on Saturday, 22nd of March. For the podcast version, you can head over to Australian Transformers Weekly. No, it's just transformersweekly.podbean.com for the show. Hello and welcome to Australian Transformers Weekly, bringing you Transformers news from around the world. This is episode 186. We are recording live on Saturday, 23rd of March. I didn't change that in the run sheet. Awesome. Tonight, we're looking at a barrage of new Bumblebee movie news and DVD release information. Unfortunately, we do have some sad news to briefly discuss. And we got a new Seeker coming from the third-party market. All that and more coming up after this. That was a great start.
That's right. It's a good thing you've got guy gets to edit it.
Yep. Hello and welcome. I am Brad Ostrom Prime, coming to you from a little, well, it's not another location. People know where I live. In Victoria. Joining me tonight, it's the dynamic duo Max, coming from South Australia. Hello.
Hello, how's it going?
I've just come off a 6-day week, so I'm tired.
So maybe not going too great then.
No. Taking on a Saturday morning job, so my appearance on the show when we record Friday nights may be a little bit sparse heading on in, but apart from that, I went shopping today and I found nothing. My Target had just got in the Legends 2-packs of the Siege figures. They had the Laserbeak and whatever its partner is, and the police car and whatever its partner is, and they scanned in at $20, and I've gone, no, it's not worth that. Not with some of the good Legends figures we've got in the past being $20, fine, but these two little things.
$20 for the two?
Yeah, the 2-packs. I couldn't justify paying it for another Laserbeak, especially for a line that isn't touching the buttons at the moment.
Yeah, it's a interesting price point there. Whatever's going on with Legends and that smaller scale right now, it's a bit hard to weigh that up.
Yeah, and we touched last week about the whole distribution thing. There's been reports during the week that Target, Big W, and some other stores were getting Siege figures finally, Wave 1. And then it seems straight away Wave 2 as well in some locations. Have you seen anything new hitting stores? Siege, Studio Series?
I've literally just seen the little figures from Siege. I've seen nothing of value anywhere else. And granted, I don't go to retail that much anymore, but that's halfway because there's nothing there.
This may go into new acquisitions, but have you seen any bots?
Yeah, I haven't. I mean, they're not my thing, but I haven't even seen those. I'm like,
yeah.
I work in a supermarket with a toy section. I haven't seen them there.
There's still the little blind bags from the last night on registers here in shops. Like, you'd think that'd be the perfect prime opportunity and spot for bots to be those little registered toys. Like, now we're just starting to get the Lego Movie 2 and Unikitty and Simpsons and all sort of stuff in those little blind bags at registers. You think bots would do the perfect thing to be at the registers as well, and it must be my location, because
it seems that for whatever reason the Transformers fans are really excited about them, and then no one else is. Like the actual, I don't see kids buying them or anything like that. You know. Yeah,
it's unfortunate. Anyway, shall we get on to the show in proper?
I suppose we're going to have to.
Yeah, we're going to have to. Eventually. Bring that up if I do that. Not bots, Potshots. Potshots Weekly is the weekly Transformers Classic of Australia competition in the TCCA Facebook group. All you have to do is post up your pick of one or more of your bots out of the display and in the real world, and you can go into the weekly, monthly, and then the yearly competition to win a prize. This week's winner is not in the run sheet. Josh Ha posted his little Myrtle with the I'd say the Titans Return Dinobots. It looks like the Grimlock.
I can tell you what turtle is. I can't tell you what figures they are. I think so because that Grimlock's got quite a wide stance there.
Yeah, yep. And it was Titty-Turtlesaurus. Like he had the caption there. So amphibian, not reptile, but
what? I'm
turtle.
I'm gonna pretend you didn't say that.
Turtle.
Yeah, it's a reptile.
Okay, I didn't think at all then.
I said I'm gonna pretend I never heard that.
Good. I might just even delete that. Good work, Josh. You're the week 4 winner. Where are we? We do have a week 5 coming up, and then the winner will be announced for March, and you'll go in the draw for the end of year competition for a prize that I'll get organised soon, so people know what they're entering to win. Coming up next, Bumblebee, the movie, Tandor Movies, is about to come out on DVD and everything else. It is currently available on iTunes Australia for $25. Boo. With the digital release, there is some behind-the-scenes stuff and extras that you do get. I've never got these. I don't know. Apparently I've got them when I've purchased DVD digital copies, but have no idea how to access any of it.
I've never actually bought a digital movie.
Oh,
this is news to me.
There you go. But some of the extras, we got some really nice digital images of the character renders from that 1 5-minute scene that everyone loves and forgets about the rest of the film from Bumblebee. Here we got RC. Now, the quality is not the best. I'm guessing someone's grabbed these off a screen cap or something because this definitely isn't HD. But
if you want to, do you want to? I can just bring up my poster. I've got a couple extras in there, and then you can edit this part out.
Yeah, have you got some clear images?
Yeah, I think they're a little bit clearer. Sorry, I neglected to do this earlier.
That's all right. I should have been able to stop sharing that. Oh, there we go. All right, bring it up and I'll.
Well, now Facebook's being weird for me. We'll get there eventually. Sorry. Very professional of me.
No, it's all right. We should have discussed this previously.
It was in there, and it was in there, and then it was like, oh, we don't need to do much else. We got it. Okay.
Well, if you go to TFW and click on the images, you can see better. Yeah. It's only because we're sharing the photos.
Screen share?
We'll just bring them up on your screen. It should share.
All right. Share.
Oh, there we go.
So there we go.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a video of like a little spin around, and it freezes on various characters during our opening sequence, and so we've got some pretty nice views of them, like the best detailed looks we've gotten at these new CG models.
Yeah, this one definitely a big one being Designation Starscream, where all previous it was supposed to be Blitzwing. Max, you were saying before that we seen a Blitzwing character in the first trailer, but by the second trailer, this seemed like the blue shins and blue arms had been added to the character mold.
Yeah, so it's a slightly different model as well with a head. So it's like started off as that Blitzwing model, then became Starscream, and it seemingly coincided with the character being announced as Blitzwing. So, not to harp on this again, maybe, but probably started production as Starscream.
Well, you may as well, because it's not going to come up in the deleted scenes or anything. Come up a little bit later.
It's like that G1 Megatron deleted scene.
Yeah,
it's like we're never gonna actually know what that Megatron looks like, and it's a real shame because like seeing that Megatron and figuring out what exactly went on with Blitzwing and Starscream would be two of the biggest unanswered questions from the movie.
Well, we might, but we'll get to that in a couple of stories' time.
If it's like the other movies, then we'll find out 10 years down the track.
Yeah, yep.
But yeah, it's gorgeous. I love the Seeker design. We got RC here.
Mm.
It's interesting in the alt modes too. It looks like they've just copied things off Wikipedia. It says car, motorcycle, spider. Like, it's not for the movie itself. It's just RC as a character over the years.
And that's a good thing about these modes that we get across the board. There's no apparent alt mode kibble. They're on Cybertron. There shouldn't be any Earth modes here whatsoever, even though Prime...
You get things that are like, could be parts of alt modes, but it's not explicitly that is from an Earth mode.
Yeah.
Like you can't tell what RC turns into here. You look at the things in their back and it's like, yeah, she probably turns into something, but you don't know what.
Well, it's a backpack.
Yeah, it's kibble.
Yeah.
It's interesting too. Like, there was a lot of talk about, oh, this is such a short scene. Why do they make up all these new models? Well, if you look closely at RC, and you can see this on a couple of other characters in terms of their hands and sometimes in the crotches and feet as well. RC here is actually almost like reuses a lot of the Shatter, of a model from Shatter. So her arms from the biceps down, those are just straight up Shatter's arms. Those legs there, you can see her feet, Shatter's feet, with the extra boot going around it. And then the reason why she's so bow-legged would be because, like, the actual animation model that's underneath Shatter's detailing would have had those massive bow legs, and so they've just reused that, hence why RC looks a bit odd here.
The same look and feet as Lockdown as well. And that's...
I mean, retail has always been a thing in Transformers.
But that's the thing. So many people see this as a complete another departure from the Bayverse, but it's not.
Well, I think aesthetically, it is. Even
Braun's jump ship.
Even then, I do like that these are G1, but they're not pure G1.
They're updated. It's a fine update.
They're creative. It's like iconically Transformers, but not slavishly.
You can see this. You can see it, and you can see that's Braun.
Yeah, but it's not pure just G1.
No,
he's got a circular like collar around his neck instead of like that big box. He's a bit more rounded off. The head's quite different. It's like it's a really good way to do it, because everyone looks at that in the movie and goes, "Oh, that's Braun. Like, that's really obviously Braun." But it's also their own take on the character. Yeah,
the 2 seconds he was on screen, it was like, oh, there's Braun. And then it was gone again. Like, he's clearly got Bumblebee's feet. Like, again, reusing molds as well. There's Bumblebee's feet right there. Those stupid robot work boots that they got. But that's fine. Like, you can do this. I just hope we get figures for these.
I mean, there's a Soundwave rumored, but for me, honestly, I'm surprised to see nothing of the Seekers.
Yeah.
Because Blitzwing was such a big deal in the movie. And he's got his incredible transformation sequence, and it's like, nope, no Blitzwing.
Not to mention
all these Seekers you could repaint.
Yeah, the repaintability of it all is just astounding, and you're not going to touch on any of it. It's just, do you not want to make money?
And people would buy them.
Yeah.
Like on Wheeljack here as well, if you look at his arms there, it almost looks like, it's designed to look like the front of a car split apart. Like it looks like a toy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this also screams like a Waspinator to me as well. Just the chest, the wings.
He does have his proportions are a bit odd, aren't they, for a Wheeljack?
Yeah.
Got a Cliff Jumper as well.
Yeah. Again, much of what we've seen with B.
Yeah, incredibly happy to see how well that design blended into the G1 stuff.
Yeah, yep. I know, like, even, like, here we go, we got the first alt mode, or robot mode now, that has wheels on it. But even, like, they're not...
Cybertronian.
Yeah, they might not be wheels, they might be, like, hover pads, magnetic maglev pads or something. But it's just...
Prime changes wheels between Cybertron and Earth.
Yeah, but it's just clearly there's no real Earth mode there. It almost looks like the front of the Prometheus from Prometheus, like in his chest, just that cockpit space shuttle spacecraft like chest on him.
Looks like a slightly more G1 version of the Fall of Cybertron design.
Mm.
Yeah. it's interesting too. You compare Ratchet and Ironhide.
Oh yeah,
For the life
yeah.
of me, I can't tell between the two, but it looks like maybe they're in the same sort of stance. It almost looks like they've slightly tweaked the sizes of a couple of the parts on the two to make Ratchet a bit slimmer.
Yeah, the chest's definitely not as big, whether some of those windows aren't painted.
And it's like they're practically in the same stance. Like,
Yeah.
it's that they just scaled things down a bit so that they have the same look, but they're it gives off a feeling of Ratchet being a medic, Ironhide being a big bulky soldier.
Mm.
And we have Shockwave as well.
He does have a big gun arm.
He does. It's one of the larger ones I've seen. It's quite thin legs as well. These are quite directly referencing the toy.
We commented about that in the trailer, didn't we? About those legs, those big thighs and little legs.
I don't know what it is there, but it's their own take on it. I can respect that. It's interesting. I don't think we have any images here because they're just sort of floating around a place. But there was like in the 360-degree render of him, like there's like spikes on his chest that sort of reference the Prime Shockwave design as well.
Oh, nice.
And interestingly, like people say it might be because of reused assets, but I haven't been able to find anything matching this. But on his forearm, there's actually like a dulled Autobot logo. So I don't know if that's like an Easter egg referencing, potential lore for this new universe that hasn't been explored yet. But kind of, or just like I don't know, a homage to animated long arm, something like that. But it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And finally, we have Soundwave, who we've seen plenty of so far. Interesting, it says Cybertronian Jet there.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know, and given that's the first one up there, I think that might give us an indication of what the rumored Voyager figure for him might look like.
Cybertronian Jet, Cybertronian Tank. MP3 player. There's a lot there. I wonder if they just pick one and maybe the cassettes are the tank and the jet.
Well, the other ones all seem to be like, the first alt mode listed is the Cybertronian alt mode.
Yeah.
And the one that seems to be from a movie. So maybe in Soundwave's case, that jet is going to be what the toy ends up turning into.
I wonder. Sorry. It could be the same as like War 4 and 4 of Cybertron, where he has some sort of data recording mode or something, and he has the cassettes or whatever in his chest. But I don't need this to transform into a cassette deck.
No, yeah, he's not on Earth here.
Yeah. If he's got some sort of jet mode or tank mode or whatever, I don't see any issue with that.
Alt mode isn't a concern when we're talking here. I don't know why people would be, to be honest. It's a silly thing. This is just, you just want this representation of Soundwave.
Oh, people still complain that Megatron's a tank or a jet and not a gun, so.
I don't know what to say to those people.
There's one more photo. What is that?
That is Ravage from the front, so it's not a very good photo.
He's armored up.
Yeah, he's certainly bulked a bit. It's slightly off topic, but one thing I didn't think about until recently that I did quite enjoy in Bumblebee was that, Ravage was in the film, and he's quite a small and it would seemingly an insignificant character. They actually play him up as such a big threat. Ravage of all characters, and it's this whole scene. It's Ravage, eject, and then he's the guy that takes down Prime. I don't know, I just thought it was a neat touch that Ravage specifically was such a big deal. I think that's all she wrote for those.
Yeah.
I'll stop.
I wonder if even if the toy needing to eject the cassettes and that, I don't know if it's really needed, or if Ravage could be a Legends or something on his own.
Yeah, it's I think I'm still presenting, by the way.
Oh.
Sure. Hangouts is weird like that.
No, it shouldn't be. It's on me. Oh, wait a minute. If I do that.
It's giving me that. There we go. Yeah.
All right.
Hangouts is just odd.
Yeah. odd. The one thing I did want to bring up is this not just a video game load screen or character select screen?
It does look like that.
Like
I
seen this
the Fall of Cybertron comparisons day one.
Well, I've seen this in Armada. Just selecting Prime or Bumblebee. We'll have more on this as the release. Well, as I said, the digital release is out now.
I think there's different special features with each release, stupidly. But hopefully what that means is we might see more in the future. Yeah. I doubt we're going to see the Megatron deleted scene, because in one of the special features is like a motion comic where the Megatron design that they use in that motion comic is just for 07 design.
Yeah.
So, which I think that's a bit of a disappointment to people.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing, like I've purchased the other 5 films digitally before just so I can have them digitally, and that's 2.5 free gig of space for a movie. I know you hit play on the movie and you watch it. I don't know how the hell you access any of these special features, so a lot of the stuff's wasted. I didn't like Bumblebee enough. I'm not paying $25 for a digital copy. I'll get it for $15 or $20 and just rip the DVD from that. But that's not the only Bumblebee news we got to talk about. As you mentioned before, deleted scenes and featurettes. Apparently there's one deleted scene, or 2 deleted scenes. One of the original opening of the movie showing B escaping from the soldiers and talking to John Cena. And also another one with Charlie and his little brother.
Thank you, TFW.
Yeah, okay. Charlie and her little brother washing and cleaning Bumblebee after she brings him home from the scrapyard. Apparently Lucky's not with them, so maybe Bumblebee doesn't appreciate having a bath, but I don't know how that would affect the rest of the film when she discovers his Bumblebee in the garage.
Overtones there.
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of the stuff we've heard about what's been cut from the film, what was changed for the final screening, doesn't appear to be on the first release anyway.
I'd love to, like the other week we got, that big in-depth discussion from TFCon, about going into all these details about what got cut and changed, everything in Age of Extinction. And I would love to hear something like that for this movie. I doubt we ever will because of whatever the hell happened in development here. But God, all the weird things about how the movie's changed over the course of the time it was in production would just be fascinating to actually know, as opposed to just play guessing games about.
Yeah, and I hope there's a featurette, Bumblebee featurette brings the hero from storyboard to screen, which they got Travis Knight, they got Scott Benzer on there, which is the ILM animation supervisor, Jason Smith, who's the visual effects supervisor, and Alison Farmer, who's the digital artist supervisor. One big problem I have with behind the scenes or featurettes about the making of is they all made as if they're coming out before the film. So nothing's okay, there's no spoilers, but they don't talk about plot or anything of the film. It's just all marketing BS. If you got these people, especially ILM supervisor and that, sitting down to talk about the film, say, hey, okay, you're talking about this, it's coming out with the film or after the film. Show us everything. Tell us everything.
I doubt they will, because if they do that, it's not the best look in the world, is it? It's like, hey, we'd love to know, but
well, they could sit there and say something easy and simple, like, hey, we first designed this Starscream, and then all of a sudden we had to change it into Blitzwing and done some alterations in color here and there. It's the same mold, but it's got different colors or something like that. It's not. It's a spoiler for the film, but it's not detriment to the creators or anything. It just, yeah.
It'd be a nice bit of transparency as well, I suppose. Actually,
Yeah.
it's just
I'm
kind of
probably asking
frustrating
to,
not knowing.
yeah, yeah. But even like you get the Travis Knight on there and like, oh yeah, we're making this film. It's going to be fantastic. Just wait to see it, and then we get some cuts of the trailer and just shit like that I just frustrates the hell out of me. Like this is coming out on the DVD release after the film's released. People have seen the film. Not too many people are buying the DVD without seeing it at cinemas first, so they already know what's going on. And you're going to sit there and make behind the scenes featurettes and everything else as if it's going to be played as a trailer before you go and see the film. It's just, it frustrates me. Why even bother? You're not adding anything new to the film whatsoever, apart from you sitting there saying, "Go see the film. It's fantastic," even though we've already seen it and paid the money.
I mean, there's a difference between adding something to the film and also just promoting it. You know, I get where you're coming from though, but really, it's pretty common.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on. Not since Dark of the Moon have we seen a tie-in comic for a live-action film, and we're getting a Sector 7 Adventures Battle at Half Dome comic run. It doesn't say how long it's going to go for. No, that's digital. So we're going to have a short, I'm going to say it's a short run comic series of Bumblebee. And interesting now, we get that sound wave we just seen in Cybertron mode. And then we're getting the Dark of the Moon laser beak and a really weird frenzy that has. He's got prime Starscream jet intakes on his shoulders.
Don't ask me what's going on with that Rumble. Besides the
Yeah.
fact that he's blue and Rumble.
Well, it's blue, so we're gonna say, oh, it says N Rumble, yeah. And Ravage, which is a lot more wolf-like, especially in that
Ravage looks
face.
fine to me. Laserbeak's weird. Like it's definitely it's not a Dark of Moon design.
It's a hybrid.
Laserbeak with feathers doesn't do it for me at all. You know, I feel like the point is he's a bird like a Cybertronian. He's not a bird. You know, he doesn't like flap his wings. I don't know. It's mostly me being pedantic, but it's a weird little thing.
Well, that's definitely a Dark of the Moon toy with those red tip feathers. But then they're here fighting him when Cena arrives, it seems, because that's definitely the that early B design where he's the Willis Jeep.
That's Braun.
The where?
The
Oh,
Jeep.
I mean, the extra muscle. Oh, okay, that's interesting then. Oh, you cut out there. Oh, we've lost to Max. Max is out. Max is out. No, you're coming back. No, you're gone again. Max. Wanted to come out and come back in. No, there's a bounce again. There's iPad. Oh, so sleepy. Don't do this. Oh. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is the fun of recording late on a weekend night. Because technology it's not wonderful. Yes, it can help out at times, but having a pencil and notepad is far better than anything you can use digital at all. We'd like to thank Telstra for this interruption tonight's hangout. Max's internet crashed, so we're going to see what happens in a minute and see if he can come back on. But so yeah. Oh, here we go. Oh, every time that statue comes up, I just stare at his ding dong. We're back.
Went from Telstra Wi-Fi to Vodafone 3G.
All right. Wow.
I'm hotspotting on it. Sorry.
No, all right. Yeah. So we're going to see what comes out of this comic as it gets a little bit closer. It is interesting that's Braun there, so...
Yeah, he basically just shows up and punches Soundwave.
Interesting error on Earth. Moving on more into their movie news, that apparently the Optimus Prime solo movie has been halted, and they're going full long into a Bumblebee 2, which I don't know why Bumblebee 2 couldn't be a Prime movie.
Apparently Bumblebee 2 is like a Prime B buddy cop movie.
Yes, and unfortunately, of course, Lorenzo has been saying things and has stated that it's going to be a buddy cop movie. Probably.
Don't let this man talk.
It's probably going to be like Lethal Weapon, which a lot of people don't know about, don't remember, don't care about. And that Optimus Prime's role is going to be most likely like Danny Glover's character in the Lethal Weapon movies. I don't want to hear Optimus Prime saying I'm too old for this shit. I don't.
I kind of do, to be honest. now that you've said that, it's like I can taste.
Well, it might
hear it. That's what I want.
And might make it more understandable why the flip gets switched, and he just comes out in Dark of the Moon and says, "I'll kill you all." I'm beyond too old for it. I'm just going to kill you all. Yeah, and again, there's been a lot of discussion too about Bumblebee being the sidekick or Robin to the Optimus Batman, if you will. Max, you've got a couple other things there to add to this as well. Lorenzo has been talking profusely.
Basically, Paramount, stop letting Lorenzo talk because he doesn't know what he's talking. So on the same press tour, he says a whole lot of contradicting information. So first is that the next movie is going to be a sequel to The Last Night. He's like, no, the next movie is going to be a reboot, but just a big Transformers movie reboot. He's like, oh, well, okay, next movie is going to be Bumblebee. So Bumblebee 2 is going to be Bumblebee and Optimus Prime. And it's like, oh, well, there's also going to be, like, yeah, it's like there's going to be another movie that's going to have more character and more action in it. And it's like, I think he means that. I think he means Bumblebee 2 and whatever the other movie is, but we don't know what the other movie is. So we know Bumblebee 2 is happening. That's in the pipeline. And that's going to be Bumblebee and Optimus Prime. And we know that there is another bigger Transformers movie coming. And we don't exactly know what that is yet.
And
because
that's...
Lorenzo's both said that... He has said that it's... he said that it's a sequel to The Last Night. And he's like, oh no, it's a reboot. And we don't know if that reboot means that Cybertron set movie that has apparently been in production, or if a reboot means something totally different.
I'm going to put it on the table now. In the next 6 months, we're going to hear news officially that Michael Bay is returning for Transformers 7.
It
And
won't.
it's going to be a
He
continuation.
was so tired of after 5, you can tell.
Yeah, but he's done nothing since. The yacht uses fuel. He needs to pay for fuel for the yacht.
You're not. Has he not done anything since?
No.
Yeah. Maybe that's the movie just wore him out. He's like, wait, hold on. You're telling me I can make a crap movie and it doesn't make $1 billion? All right, I'm done.
Mm.
It's all very confusing because Lorenzo contradicts himself a lot. He contradicts other people a lot. And generally speaking, the man in charge of the entire Transformers movie franchise doesn't know what he's talking about.
Well, one line here stating that an Optimus Prime movie is like making an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. It can't be done. An Obi-Wan Kenobi movie can be done. Disney don't want to spend the money on it if it's a bomb or whatever else, especially after Solo, which is a shame.
The issue is people wanted Obi-Wan. They didn't want Solo.
Well, and it's just...
I just think people... I suppose on that same token, no one really wants an Optimus Prime movie, do they?
But
no one's clamoring out going, hey, make a movie just with Prime. They're going, hey, make a Transformers movie.
Yeah, but you go back to after last night come out and we're talking and all of a sudden we heard news there's going to be a solo Bumblebee movie. I don't think any of us could have imagined what that would have been at the time apart from a robot with no voice box taking on
for
refuge.
A long time we thought it was all going to be terrible.
Oh, wait, that's exactly what we got.
All the key art and everything was just like, it was just Bay Bumblebee. And so it was like, wait, is this just going to be Bay Bumblebee in the past and it's just Bumblebee with nothing else surrounding him? And it all sounded pretty horrible. And it turned out, by most people's measures, pretty good.
Yeah, okay.
By most people,
okay. Not minority. Okay. They got some good characters around them, so yes.
I think
but that's the problem. They're like Marvel, Disney, they're just bloody... What's her name? Captain Marvel's about to hit $1 billion when it was only projected to do like... Thank you, iPad. Like it was only projected like 400 or $500 million they were expecting. It's gone like way beyond that. You've got that budget. You've paid for it. It's just money-hungry people in production studios and not top that goes, oh no, we can't do an Optimus Prime by itself because we'd have to spend $100 million on the budget and another $50 million on marketing and maybe only get $400 million in the box office. It's just weird. It's weird how the whole thing works.
No kidding. It's odd, the way that they bankroll things, considering, especially when we consider stuff like the last night's budget.
But again, like here he says, when I heard that the movie Bumblebee will be made, I was wondering what Optimus would think. Bumblebee was supposed to be Optimus's sidekick. No, he wasn't. That's why I wanted to write Optimus as I drew him in Bumblebee in detail. He's not Robin. He's a scout.
He also he acts like he's a guy in chat who made the script for Bumblebee. Like, maybe he is. Maybe he really does have that much creative control, but I somehow doubt it.
But then here too, like he concluded the interview by saying he wants to humanize Optimus.
He's
very much like how Bumblebee was portrayed in the... Bumblebee wasn't humanized in the movie. It's a classic fish out of water story.
He's characterized. He's not humanized.
Yeah.
The point of Bumblebee is that he's a character and like he wasn't human. You know what I mean? Like he is this incredibly alien thing who spends half a movie, in a vulnerable state because he's brain damaged. It's like his entire thing is that he's not a humanized character. He's something completely separate that still has emotions and empathy and all that. Like that's the point. It's not making him human.
That's the whole reason you have sympathetic human characters around him.
He says he wants to humanize Optimus, as if like Optimus Prime's character wasn't the only good and thought out thing of the Michael Bay movies. Like, if I could point to one through line of those first 5 movies and say this is a good character plotting, I would point to Prime, right? And he's like, "No, I want to humanize Prime." It's like, well, you've already done that. You know, humanize Starscream or someone, you know, who just spends the first 3 movies just being a little sycophant. Humanized Shockwave, who's just a grunting massive purple. Or humanize any number of his characters. Don't go like, "Oh, I'm going to humanize." I'm going too long on this.
Yeah, I know, but that comes back to the same problem with, or the problem with G1, where every G1 character is a human stereotype, where in the live action films they're alien robots. Jazz should not talk and do beatboxing and all that shit, and people have a big problem about that Jazz in the film because this is a good place to dig or kick it. Where you got Scatman Crothers doing the whole Jazz thing from G1, where it's just a stereotype. There's a lot of Transformers stereotypes from G1 that would not make it there now because people in high places with moral standards would say, no, this is racist or this is not to be.
I mean, to be fair, I think they did call it racist back in the day anyway.
Well, they probably did, but no one was.
Cliff Jumper's voice actor quit because of racism.
Yeah, yep.
But I do get what you mean. Like, it wouldn't fly nowadays, and that's probably in a large part why we saw such a heel turn in The Last Night.
Yeah. But it's not just that. Like, there's lots of things. There's the argument we've heard the classic argument about, like, even the 07 movie Megatron not being much more than shredded metal and that. Well, it's an alien robot. But then you turn around and have Drift or cartoon Windblade being completely human faces on a robot. It's just, but people love it. It's just, yeah.
That's interesting. I'm not sure which one's worse, to be honest.
Yeah,
shred of metal of this weirdly humanized thing.
Yeah, which is
I think Bumblebee. This movie stuck a good balance between the two,
except for Cliff Jumper, because it was just that.
What? I still don't care why everyone's so hung up on his face.
Yeah, I know.
I see it, but I don't see it. It's
oh,
I mean, the biggest takeaway from that whole debacle with Lorenzo not knowing what he's doing was that he has said he wants the next movie to have more character for the Transformers, but also more action. So I'm like, okay, good, you're learning. That's what we want. That's the biggest complaint of the Bay movies and the biggest complaint about Bumblebee. You know what people want to hear. Good on you. Now actually do it.
Yeah.
But if Lorenzo, of all people, is taking that to heart, then I'm hopeful for the future of the movies.
Yeah. The moral of this news story is, let's just not report on it. And Lorenzo says that maybe he'll disappear.
It's not a half bad idea.
Oh, speaking of half bad ideas, it is with great sadness this past week, the Transformers community has lost the writer from Beast Wars, Larry DiTilio, who Beast Wars was my G1. I grew up on that, and there's a lot of the episodes in that series that he penned. Like the last one we said goodbye to was Nimoy, which, okay, Sentinel Prime and Galvatron, but Larry would have penned a lot of the stuff I look forward to and watched 4 o'clock on a weekday afternoon when I got home from school. So it is a sad day for that. Max, this may be insensitive, but I don't think you're born then.
No, I was not.
Oh, and that's probably a good place to leave that.
I mean, it's a shame, especially with someone whose writing was so reputable.
Yeah, and it's just the fact of life. Like it's not. Hopefully, it's further away, but we're going to start seeing Peter Cullen and others just because of age. Frank Welker, like they're probably in good health.
Such a young franchise, so we haven't dealt with that yet.
Yeah. So, but let's move on to some happier thoughts. maybe. Make Toys have released images of their new Seeker MTRM-11G2 Screamer. A lot in the title, but they're doing a G1 version of G1 Starscream.
Yeah, so I think they've haven't really milked this mold all that much, but G2 Starscream as a TFCon exclusive seems like a good option for it.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm astonished at how well the colors work here, to be honest, because like some G2 color schemes are, like really gaudy, and then they work because of that. Whereas this isn't particularly gaudy; it's just bad. But I don't know. Make Toys somehow, I feel like they got it to work a bit. Maybe it's because the mold is so inherently good looking. Like it's a beautiful looking figure. I mean,
even just the alt mode, like that is insanely good looking.
yeah, I love this thing. I've got the G1 version on the shelf, and it's just. I think it was might have been a figure of the year for 2017. It was really quite something.
Like all my G1 Seekers are in alt mode because, frankly, the bot modes are absolutely horrible. But the alt modes look fantastic, and
it's a beautiful jet as well. Like,
yeah,
iconic.
Yeah, I should correct. I did say it was a G1 version, but it is the G2 version.
Didn't notice.
Yeah, that's fine.
You could have saved yourself.
I was about to say, why is his chest purple? That would be why. But even though he's got the G1 stickers inside his air intakes there on the shoulders and that, so
yeah, they
I
came
didn't.
out of the wings and everything.
I don't see any
Quite a glossy black
Decepticon.
on him.
Yeah, no
You don't see any
Decepticon logos on the wings.
You don't see any space for them.
Well, they're not. Oh, of course they wouldn't be on there because they're not official. That was a brain fart. I am tired. All right. Next up, we have some images and more news on the Ghostbusters crossover. We got a preview of, I was going to say episode 1, copy 1, where we have Kremzeek making an appearance. And one news story I see released today, apparently. Oop. Oh, I need to get rid of that. Apparently, Egon is trying to capture Ghost Starscream. So they are really crossovering. Nope, neither of those work. They're really going for that crossover between Ghostbusters and Transformers.
Yeah. It's a very classic art style there. And you got Gozer scene where I guess Giant Marshmallow Man is replaced by Ghost Starscream, and then Megatron gets pissed off and shoots Starscream.
It's interesting. I think we mentioned this before where we've seen him in the art. It's got Megatron's head around his neck, yet Megatron's there, alive.
I think it's like a fantasy. Like, oh, this is Starscream's. Yeah, fantasy.
So what we got? We got Shockwave, we got Prime, Megatron. Is that other one Skyfire?
Jetfire.
Yeah. Skyfire, yep.
Jetfire.
Skyfire. And we got Gozer coming on here. That art down the bottom is really weird. It's like Megatron. What the hell did you do, Starscream? It really looks like talking him down. That's some interesting art.
Yeah, it's almost G1 to a fault, to be honest.
Oh, of course, we got the
dog things.
Yeah, they look very Voltron.
Right, so they do too. Like, especially the shape of those legs.
Yeah.
Voltron
yeah.
Well, like, I get like MMC Predaking vibes, to be honest.
Yeah, true. That's all right. We I might even purchase his first comic and give a bit of a read, see what it's like. Lastly, Viz Media have announced only just yesterday that there's going to be a new art book coming to the market. The book's going to showcase hundreds of iconic and rare images drawn from the Hasbro archives, as well as development art from Paramount, featuring films in an impressive amount of 408 pages. Retailing at $50 for pre-order, which I'm guessing is US, and for $100 US, you can get a couple of or 5 art prints exclusively for it as well. Max, do you have any of the art books that have come out, or even the TF collecting books that have come out for the franchise?
No, I feel like I should. Some of them are quite good, but it's like you're way up putting money in them, and it's like, well, might as well buy a figure instead. Or
Yeah.
it's like it's it's the sort of thing where I definitely see the appeal of it. It just hasn't gotten to me yet.
It is interesting. The cover image for this story is of 07 Prime from the movies, and
I
definitely
at this point it's pretty iconic.
Yeah, and it's saying here that they're going from Paramount Studios feature films. So a majority of this might be film related. If this is concept art for the films, I'll be quite happy. If it's the stupid CG renders of Autobots doing unhumanoid stances and superhero landings and everything else, I'll be disappointed. But I don't know. I don't know how you could merge and have a single book of 400 pages with both Hasbro archive stuff from G1 or other series and then the film, unless you're going to do across the decades and do like a progression of the franchise type thing.
Well, I think this is just all of Transformers, basically.
Yeah.
408 pages is a lot of space to fill.
It is a decent book. Yeah. But then, like a regular hardcover, that sounds like it's a novel, not more a
Interesting. It doesn't seem like it'd be in the vein of some of the other art books have gotten. So there was like more than just a Geek Spark, because that one that came out a couple of years back, but that was more just original art pieces largely done for that book.
Yeah, the legacy
Whereas
art one.
This seems to be like all archives pieces, so actual pieces of artwork that have been used and had a purpose in the past, being brought back here.
Yeah, if this is unreleased stuff that's come out before, I think they've definitely got a lot of people who are going to be interested in this.
It does at least interest me to see what's in it. Because especially when you get bits of old concept art and everything, it's always pretty interesting to get a look at.
Yeah, yep, indeed. All right, new acquisitions. I went into my Target today and found only the Siege 2-packs of Police Car and his counterpart and Laserbeak and his counterpart, and I wasn't paying $20 for it because they look pretty shit. Max, anything new on your end?
I wish I could say so.
Oh, I was hoping I was hoping you had something.
No, it's unfortunate, but yeah, I just find myself not buying very much nowadays.
Oh, anything pre-ordered and coming in?
Ooh, kind of lusting after that 3A Bumblebee at the moment, after hearing many good things about it. So waiting for that to come in, and then
What's the release on that? When are you expecting?
it's sort of nowish, really. Like they do a few production runs 3A, so it'll be in at some point over the next couple months. Definitely looking forward to that.
That's a bit of a window.
If you have, it's ambiguous. It's 3A there. 3A doesn't they don't really stick to things. It seems like they're just like, yeah, whatever, we'll make the figure. You'll get it eventually.
That's like buying a $1 power cable from China and you'll get it by May. It's
yeah,
like
basically.
What?
Yeah, and then from there, it's probably figure out way up whether or not to jump on that Blitzwing as well.
Are they doing a deluxe version or is it just a big version?
deluxe version. They haven't shown any premium scales for Bumblebee yet.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Just going with the little stuff and seeing how they sell, I suppose.
They're like they've said they're gonna do them, but they've shown nothing so far.
Oh, we got a few months ahead. We'll see what they come up with.
Yeah, I mean, 3A University are being pretty popular right now, so it'd be interesting to see how things pan out, especially of all the new material they've got from Bumblebee. So,
all right.
If neither of us have much to talk about,
that's it.
Things.
Time to sign off. But before we do, there's people watching now. There's people listening now. We want to hear from you. We've made a considerable effort to get on tonight. I'm half asleep. I want to hear from listeners. Post up in the Australian Transformers Weekly Facebook page if you're listening, if you're enjoying things, if you have questions, any feedback, anything. Because at this point, I was hoping to get about 200 episodes before I'd made a decision. But if we're only going to record when we can, then we're only going to record when we can. So there's going to be some gaps here and there. It might only be fortnightly. We'll see what happens with the show, but it's one of those things. We got some issues going on at the moment behind the scenes. Some of them can be helped, some of them can't. I've had to, as I said before, I had to start working 6 days a week, which is absolutely hell. But you got to pay the bills somehow, and hopefully I can buy another Transformer, second one for the year, out of it all. But yeah, we started this just to have a discussion on the weekend about Transformers. If people watch, they watch. If they listen. That's still the thing. But if we want to, just want to see that there's listeners out there that want to keep on hearing what we're saying. Otherwise, we'll just, when we have some news to talk about, we'll get on and talk about it and publish it. If it's every second week, if it's every third week, if it's once a month, that's how it'll be. We'll just see what happens and wait to hear what happens and from listeners.
Yeah, keep us posted on, especially what you want to see on the podcast, I imagine.
Yeah. This camera's doing real things. It's like I'm in infrared. Or
I'm not seeing it on my end, so maybe it's being weird for you.
Yeah.
Hopefully it's fine.
My eyesight might just have stopped reading the red. it's now in the blue.
Not sleep anytime soon.
It's the blue spectrum. So yes, again, thank you for listening. Everything that TCA is can be found over at transformerscca.com. If you aren't in the group already, Australian residents, you can head over to transformerscca.com. No, you can head over to Facebook and look up Transformers Australia and or TCCA there and come into the Facebook group. Max, me, you, Jason, John, all the guys on the show are over there to discuss, and Potshots is there, so head over there for that as well. Again, the podcast can be found over at transformersweekly.podbean.com. The RSS feed is there if you want to download it. We've got 186 shows there on iTunes, so you can go back and look at some of the previous stuff, or just stay with what we produce weekly, where we do. Max, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
It's sleepy times. It's time for sleep.
Yeah. Good idea.
Lullaby. All right. Until next week. Thanks, Max, and good night, all.
Catch you later.